When I first read his story, I was excited about it. I know it sounds weird to say, but I was actually excited about it because all I ever hear is about men getting taken to the cleaners during divorce.
L's.
Taking massive L's. I'm like, there has to be a solution because it really makes you afraid to get married. If that's something you want to do, right? It makes you afraid because it's like, at the end of the day, if it comes down to a divorce, it's us that's going to be getting the short end of the stick, right?
Yeah.
And so when I heard this, I'm like, man, this is some next level thinking right here, man.
Yeah. Achraf Hakimi's divorce from his wife took an unexpected turn when she filed for more than half of the Moroccan footballer's property and fortune. However, during the court proceedings, it was revealed that Hakimi had no property or assets under his name. He had transferred his entire fortune to his mother long before the divorce. From property to cars, houses, jewelry, and even clothes, everything was under his mother's name. This unanticipated move left Hakimi's ex-wife empty-handed.
It sucks that I'm this excited about a man finessing his way out of a divorce, but the laws need to change.
It's still written back like it's 1952 or 1940 where most women are like homemakers.
Exactly. Exactly.
Normally when you hear about these divorce situations, it's always the guy losing. And it's like losing on an epic scale. It's like you got like Jeff Bezos, you got Bill Gates, you got Tom Brady. It's like all these guys are just losing in this divorce.
TMZ reports the couple did not have a prenup, meaning that $137 billion could be split right down the middle and unclear whether they have a postnup.
This is going to be one of the biggest ticket divorces ever.
So it's all these big giant horror stories when you're talking about divorce. So I think in this situation, it's cool the fact that like he found a workaround and was able to like keep his money in a good spot.
I agree 100%. If the law is not going to change, then we got to take it in our own hands to protect ourselves, to make it change.
Or you might get another option, like how they have in news that most men between 18 and 30 aren't even dating now. So who knows about marriage?
Nearly half of all young adults are single. 34% of women, twice as many, a whopping 63% of men. What explains that? Turns out since 2019, the share of single men who say they're looking for dates or a relationship has declined from 61% to 50%.
The thing about it is, I agree with that, right? The thing is this. Say 80% of men that want to get married and have a family, and they're sitting there thinking, okay, so how do I do that, but still make sure that if it goes wrong, I'm not left homeless, living out of like the trash can.
Yeah.
This is one way to do it. This is one way. Men, it's weird because you think about marriage, women being the ones that are like caught up in the fantasy and the fairy tale, wanting to, live the whole Disney fantasy of getting married. Really, it's the men. Women look at that like a business decision. They're thinking ahead of time what they can get from it.
Yeah.
Men are like, oh, I love her and I can't wait to make her my wife and the mother of my kids and she'll never leave me. She'll never divorce me. It'll all be great. And then what happens?
Dr. Dre situation.
Dr. Dre. The woman divorces 80% of the time. The man's left out to dry.
As a matter of fact, there's even one story where this guy lost like $100,000 in a divorce in his retirement.
So how much did my divorce cost me? Well, this is a fantastic question. There's direct and there's indirect costs. Direct costs, I lost $106,000 out of my 401k retirement plan I spent 20 years contributing to. I also lost half the equity in the home, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, cash, and savings that I also spent 20 years contributing to. I also lost half of all the non-liquid assets like furniture, household goods, electronics, cars. Keep in mind, I paid for all of these. And this is in addition to financially supporting her and her/our daughter for 17 years, which is many hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm now broke, live in a 2-bedroom apartment, and have a negative net worth for the first time since I was, 25.
What's that mean? The laws are written poorly, but doesn't mean what really is the problem is that us as men, we don't take the time to do the due diligence to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
All it takes is setting up a meeting with a divorce lawyer, a divorce attorney.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you that divorce attorney can give you 1 to 5 different ways of how you can protect yourself.
Yeah.
Whether it's a trust, whether it's putting all your assets in the name of your mother, whether it's whatever it is, teaching you about separate, what's it called? Community property, marriage property versus separate property, whatever they call it. Men don't take the time to learn this stuff. So we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot too.
Yeah. Like I didn't even know about half this stuff. I didn't know about separate property, community property. I didn't know about any of this. But you know what this reminds me of? So P. Diddy, right? So famous guy in the 90s. He made a lot of the biggest hits. He signed a lot of giant artists like Biggie and Mace. And one of the things that Mace said against his complaint against Diddy is that, like, I can't even, like, really sue Diddy because everything is in his mom's name.
This nigga told me he want receipts. Let's start with your mother. Your mother got the receipts. Everything is in your mother's name. That's the one who got the receipts.
So I think is when you're famous, you have to figure out a way to like maneuver around. I think an average prenup will help the average guy probably, right? But when you're talking about like high income individuals, you got to find another way to maneuver. So I think this is just another way that men are going to have to move to protect themselves, to stay away from people and becoming a target. Because that's another thing. When you become famous, you become a high value target. Because I remember a brief synopsis where I read from Will Smith is that like he gets sued at least 50 times a year by people he hasn't even met before.
It's crazy.
So
It's crazy, man.
yeah, I know it's weird, right? It's weird to think about that. Like people are so desperate for money, they're willing to make the most craziest lawsuits for absolutely nothing, right? Something that people would normally not even sue about, people will make a lawsuit about just to get a little bit of money.
Of course.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna say ultimately, what I think is gonna happen is I think that this is just gonna become like the new framework that people are going to start operating off of. And I think guys who aren't necessarily like famous are going to have to make their own framework besides a prenup. Like I think that like I think the average man is going to find a way to do this, but maybe on a smaller scale. Maybe they might not give everything to their mom. Might say like, okay, well, I give some to my aunt. I give some to my dad. I give some to my sister, something like that, right? To move around some of these laws. But ultimately, I'm happy. This is a win. I hope that this is something that's able to be done in the U.S. Because, yes, Diddy was able to do that, but I don't know. Because I don't think Diddy's ever been married. So I don't know how that would work necessarily with marriage laws. Because marriage laws is different than entertainment laws and stuff like that. Ultimately, man, I'm going to say this is win. This is a great decision. When I get my money to his level, I'm going to do the same thing. Whether or not I get married or not, to be determined.
I agree with everything you just said, but I'm not as hopeful as you are right now about this starting a trend of men protecting themselves. I think most men are still going to stay in La La Land. They're going to get married. They're going to get married without protecting themselves, like driving without a seatbelt or what analogy you want to use. And they're going to keep getting taken to the cleaners in situations like this because it's just, I don't know. I just don't see it really waking men up. I think that, like you said, on our own scale, we need to protect ourselves. Go talk to a lawyer. Go invest a couple $100s or $1,000s to find out how you can best protect yourself in the event that things don't work out. Because sometimes in life, things don't work out. But most men aren't going to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No. I mean, what I was basically saying, though, is that I have hope, right? I hope. Will it happen? Who knows? But I have hope that this will teach other people.
I hope so, too. For whatever, Mr. Hakimi, great decision. Shout out to you, sir. Masterclass on how you handle this situation, planning ahead. He planned ahead, and hey, he played chess. She was playing checkers, he's playing chess. I hate to make it sound like it's such a contentious thing, like it's him versus her. I mean, that's the mother of his kids.
It's a divorce. It's a divorce. So
saying,
it kind of has to be him versus her.
I know. But what I mean is, like, it just sucks to like make this seem like it's a game or like a political a debate or something where it's like contentious. It shouldn't be that way. But my man thought ahead. He's like, things happen, and he protected himself. So shout out to him.
But unfortunately, divorce is a business, right? So like any business, I mean, there's gonna be winners, there's gonna be losers.
Right.
Looks like he's winning on this side.
He won. Yeah.
No.
Yo, he's winning because I don't know if this is true or not. This might just be some extra stuff they sprinkled in there, but she's worth like $2 million, and they were saying that because his assets were so low that they might make her pay him. But I don't think
that is a double win. Yo, that is a dub. That is a W.
No.
If this is true, that is a W, bro.
No, it's terrible.
That is a W.
It's a W in theory, but he wouldn't take that money. Like, no.
I mean, if anything, if he has to pay child support, she's pretty much just getting the money back. If we're being real, if he has to pay child support, he's like, okay, that money you're giving me, here's it back.
True. Damn, that's crazy.
And either way, they both make money, so it's not
right.
It'd be one thing if she was working at like Home Depot,
right,
or she was making like $30,000, but like she's good.
She's straight. She's
good. So, like I said, ultimately, guys, this looks like it's a good decision on his part. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know if you agree with us. If you think we're out of our mind, comment. If you agree with us, comment. We're out.